Emberclaw Chronicles, Chapter 7. The Road Beyond the Village. The barber shop had grown very quiet. Outside, the village street carried on, as it always did. A cart rolled past slowly. Someone laughed somewhere down the lane. The wind brushed lightly through the branches of the old trees that shaded the square. Inside the shop, however, the air felt still and thoughtful. Emberclaw lay stretched comfortably across the wooden floorboards, his golden wings folded neatly at his sides. His long tail curved lazily behind him, occasionally giving a slow flick against the floor. He watched the barber with careful attention. Lyra leaned against the counter near the window. From where she stood, she could see the rooftops of the village and the road that curved away toward the hills. Seraphine stood quietly beside her. The silver dragon's calm teal eyes followed every movement inside the shop. The barber moved slowly from chair to chair, setting her tools back into their places. The soft sounds of metal and wood echoed gently through the room. Finally, she wiped her hands on a cloth and turned toward them. "You've been busy," she said. Lyra straightened slightly. "You knew." The barber gave a small smile. "You went looking for the towers." Emberclaw lifted his head from his paws. "They were not difficult to find," he said. "They are quite enormous." Lyra crossed her arms. "Something is wrong with them." Seraphine nodded quietly. "They have been disturbed." For a moment, the barber did not answer. Instead, she walked to a tall cabinet in the corner of the shop. The cabinet was old, much older than anything else in the room, and the hinges creaked softly when she opened it. Inside were several wrapped bundles. The barber chose one long, narrow case, covered in worn cloth. She carried it to the counter and carefully untied the cord. Lyra leaned forward with interest. "What is that?" The barber lifted the lid. Inside the case lay a small brass instrument. It was round, like a compass, but far more delicate. Thin, etched markings circled the face, and a slender needle rested quietly at the center. The brass had been polished many times over the years, but the edges showed the soft wear of great age. "This belonged to the keepers of the towers," the barber said. Seraphine stepped closer. "They had tools like this." "Yes." Lyra studied the instrument. "What does it do?" The barber lifted it gently from the case and held it in her palm. The needle inside trembled faintly. "It helps you find where the trouble is." She held it out toward Lyra. Lyra hesitated only a moment before taking it. The metal felt cool in her hands. For several seconds, the needle wandered slowly in a circle. Then it stopped, pointing firmly toward the distant hills beyond the village. Lyra looked up. "That way." Seraphine watched the direction carefully through the window. "That road leads far beyond the valley." The barber nodded. "Yes, further than you have traveled." Emberclaw rose slowly to his feet and stretched his wings, which made the wooden rafters creak softly above him. "Well," he said thoughtfully, "that sounds promising. Lyra turned the instrument slowly, but the needle refused to change direction. It always returned to the same place. So someone out there is causing the towers to fail. Yes, said the barber. Lyra glanced toward the hills again. And you want us to find them? The barber folded her arms comfortably. I want someone too. Emberclaw gave a satisfied nod. You have come to the correct dragon. Lyra laughed. That's not what she said, but she was smiling. Seraphine stepped beside her and looked down at the instrument. The path will not be simple, she said calmly. Lyra lifted her eyes toward the road that wound out of the village. It rarely is. Outside, the evening wind had begun to stir. Leaves rustled along the roadside, and the sky above the hills had turned the deep blue color that comes just before night. The barber closed the case and placed it gently back on the counter. You should leave in the morning, she said. The road will be clearer then. Emberclaw tilted his head. Morning. Lyra looked at him. You planning to fly there tonight? The dragon considered this. Well, he admitted, perhaps not. Seraphine smiled faintly. The three of them stepped outside the shop together. The village square had grown quieter now. Lanterns glowed in the windows, and the last of the market stalls were being packed away. The road beyond the village curved gently between the trees before disappearing into the darkening hills. Lyra held the brass instrument up once more. The needle pointed steadily into the distance. That way, she said. Seraphine nodded. That is where we begin. Emberclaw looked toward the road, his green eyes bright with anticipation. Then he smiled. Excellent, he said. I was hopping for an adventure. The wind moved softly across the hills, and somewhere far beyond them, something waited to be found.